My name is Jacob Coles, I'm 15 years old and go to Rithington School, and for me, plants are not just a passion, they are my life. My specialism in gardening is raising and growing all types of orchids. The highlights include growing the 2013 RHS Orchid of the Year, this Coleogyne holochila.
Not only do I grow orchids at school, but I also grow them at home, and this here is just some of my orchid collection at home. Here I've got species from all over the world. I've got some of the most valuable species that you can buy here. I've also got one particular species which I'm the first person to actually own and grow it, so that's quite nice. But not only is this nice and just sort of have pretty flowers around, but also it gives me sort of an insight to how to grow these plants in it, sort of what everyone would be growing them at home. So this helps me when I'm giving talks and also at shows to show how, I'll tell people how to grow these species at home.
Gardening for me includes propagation, culture, enterprise and exhibiting at shows around the UK. This April I was solely responsible for our display at the RHS International Orchid Show, where I won a silver gilt medal. This month I was awarded with Best Vanda from the Devon Orchid Show.
This is Anacamptis morio, so this is what we commonly know as the green-winged orchid, and it sort of demonstrates brilliantly here what my gardening philosophy is, because I've just pulled off the main road here and there's literally hundreds of these plants in this field, and if you just look at these plants and how they're growing, you can tell how they grow in the wild and how to grow them far better in cultivation. So these plants here, it's quite a thick, damp, low nutrient soil. You can see it by sort of the sedges in the grass. If I was to grow this plant in sort of cultivation now, from seeing this, I'd be growing it in fairly sort of loamy soil and not really giving it much feed as a nutrient supplement. So I'll definitely be using this to grow my own specimens of these later.
Amongst the most challenging plants I grow here are these are common spotted orchids. I grow these using the orchid seed, of course, and also a mycorrhizal fungus, which is the one the plant uses naturally in the wild. First, I need to surface sterilise the seed in a bleach solution. Then I rinse the seed and sow it in petri dishes, which I have prepared with agar and a specially isolated mycorrhizal fungus. All this work happens in a laminate airflow cabinet to maintain aseptic conditions. The seeds then grow for up to 2 years in the lab, before being deflasked into pots. This is the most challenging time for the plants as they acclimatise to greenhouse conditions. As plants mature, I repot them into larger pots or baskets. I have developed my own potting technique for Dendrobium Victoria regina that replicates the cool mossy conditions it likes in the wild. For the last 2 years I have been giving talks about orchids and orchid growing to gardening clubs, horticulturalists and community groups. Generally I get a great response. Orchid tours give me another chance to share my love of plants and meet countless hundreds of interesting gardeners.
Jacob is an outstanding young gardener. He has made a real difference to Radstock winning gold in Britain in bloom in each of the last 3 years. Jacob really impresses the judges with his knowledge and enthusiasm, and all the local community have benefited from his work, his tours and his excellent talks.
To learn more about orchids and develop my skills, I joined the British Orchid Council judging scheme. By the end of the year, I will be the world's youngest qualified orchid judge.
Hello, my name's Simon Pugh-Jones and I manage the Rithington School Orchid Project. Jacob is the best young gardener we've ever had at Rithington. His knowledge is encyclopedic and his enthusiasm is truly inspiring. His skills are quite exceptional. Aged 15, Jacob has mastered the culture and propagation of some of the world's most challenging plants. He shares his knowledge and his enthusiasm with other pupils, with the general public, and across the UK through garden societies and other groups. This summer, Jacob will be transforming the lives of Rwandan school children by introducing them to orchid horticulture and science. Jacob is not only a passionate gardener, but somebody who firmly believes that gardening can change our planet for the better.